Hey guys, it's Queen Seheru, and I'm coming to you with another exciting edition of Ask An Aquarius. Okay, so if you haven't already, please hit that button, that red button underneath there, and subscribe, and smack the bell so you can get the notifications. And if you love any one of my videos, pass it on to somebody else you think will love it too. Okay? Thank you. All right, so today I wanted to answer a question. A gentleman asked me the other day, he said, how did you achieve emotional freedom? This is somebody who is very depressed, somebody who has a lot of problems with anxiety, sometimes angry. And he wanted me to tell him how did I free myself from these fetters? Because that's what they are. They're locks on you, you know? And I said, okay, I'll talk more about that. And I have talked about healing and things along those lines, but I'm going to speak directly to emotions this time because this is what happens. A lot of times people don't know what to do. All they know is that they don't like where they are. I found this piece the other day. I read this book so many times that the book has fallen apart. It's called The Wisdom of Ma'ati, Enlightenment Through Virtuous Living by Dr. Ashby. I've read a lot of his books, and I pretty much like the information that he gives. I don't agree with everything, but I like a lot of stuff. And this is one thing that really touched me, especially when I was working on this years ago. It says feelings, emotions, and passions are good servants, but poor masters. Giving into hate and vengeance will lead to the undoing of the body and spirit. To control one's passions is to master one's own fate. Study the teachings and practice self-control, silence, and meditation. So when I read that piece, I got a lot of things from that. Number one is look at your emotions. Aquarius have the tendency to detach from our emotions and we kind of put them in a drawer somewhere because we really don't want to deal with them. But it's a detriment to you because any emotions that you ignore, suppress, neglect, or repress are always going to show up in other ways. And one way that they have a tendency to show up is in our bodies. Some of the times a person will develop an illness because of their toxic emotions. I'm going to attach to the bottom of this video a list by Louise L. Hay. She lists every ailment that I've ever seen, from STDs to appendicitis, you know, and next to it, what emotional and mental energy can cause those particular ailments. And everything is on there, from hurting hip, pains in your heart, asthma, everything is on there. I'm not going to say everything because every day we find new ailments, but a lot of them, all the ones I was familiar with. So I'm going to attach that so you guys can see that. So what happens is that those toxic emotions turn into cancers and ailments and all kinds of things for a lot of people. So what you have to do, especially if you're Aquarius, but anybody who has emotional issues, you have to take that emotion and you have to study that emotion. You got to crack that baby open and look in the center of it. Somebody once said to me, there was a quote, and I posted it on Facebook the other day, and it said, I sat with grief. No, I sat with anger. That's what it was. I sat with anger for so long that she told me her real name was grief. So some of the times the emotions you have other reasons underneath them. So the first thing you want to do practically is make a list of the most common emotions that you have. All of them. You know, you commonly get angry. You commonly get depressed. You commonly feel love. Write down the ones you feel the most often. I commonly feel indifferent. Write down all the ones that you feel the most often, first and foremost. And then when you're finished writing them down, see what's underneath them. The way I did this was by prioritizing them. I prioritized them by the emotions that were the most problematic. So for me, it was anger. Anger was the most problematic. Sadness was next. So we'll deal with anger and sadness. So you put them on your little list and you say, okay, this is how I feel. And now they're in priority. So take number one, anger. Why am I so angry? Ask yourself that question. Don't ask nobody else. Don't tell nobody else. Because one of the things I don't like, and one of the things that's difficult about doing these kinds of videos, I don't like people telling me how I feel. Because they're usually wrong, number one. And number two, I think that's the biggest way, it's the biggest disrespect to tell someone what they think they feel, what they think they know, what they think they're experiencing is not what's happening. You don't know what they're experiencing because you're not inside of them. You might think from the outside looking in, it looks like this, but you have no clue. I've had conversations with people and been surprised at what was really going on underneath. So I think it's horrible to tell somebody. It's the easiest way for me to stop talking to you. If I tell you I feel something and you say, no, I don't think it's that, I think it's this. That's the easiest way for me to stop talking to you. I just won't respond no more because I feel like you're not listening. So what am I talking to you for? You see? And when you do videos like these, you get a lot of that. You get a lot of people trying to diagnose you. I don't need you to diagnose me. God has already diagnosed me. I don't need you to do that, you know? And for a lot of people, that's what you're going to get. So don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody. Pray on it and soul search and figure out exactly what's going on. So if you're angry, for example, dig underneath that anger and see what are you angry about. Because generally, if you dig into the anger, you'll find out that you're angry about something that hurt you. Okay? And what you want to deal with first is the hurt, the situation or what hurt you, and the anger is secondary. Sometimes the anger totally goes away or alleviates by a lot by you just fixing whatever that is. So let me give you an example. Your mother abandoned you and left you with your father. Your father did the best he could, but he was never really home that much because he was always working 2-3 jobs. You find yourself as an adult angry. You find yourself not really liking your coworkers. You find yourself yelling at your neighbor. You find yourself kicking the dog. You find yourself bumping into people on the subway. You find yourself not wanting people to get off of me, people get away from you when they come close to you, and you can't figure out why you feel this way, And the thing is that if you go underneath that, you may find that the problem is that you're still angry with your mom for leaving. And that's okay. And why are you angry with her for leaving? Because it hurt you. Because you missed her. Because you went through your life longing for her and being upset that she wasn't there. So what you have to do is heal the original wound. So maybe go to therapy, maybe get some self-help books, maybe whatever, and do some work around mother healing. And then after you do some mother healing, you'll probably find that your anger has gone down. Okay? And you also may find that you're angry about more than one thing, and you have to deal with them each one at a time. Okay? Now, let's say your anger gets better, and then you move on to your sadness. There's more sadness there, or some kind of situation. Why am I still sad? I dealt with this, so why am I still sad? And let journal about it. Ask God to show you. Pray on it. And figure all of them out. And every time you figure out what's bothering you, heal it. Some people come to me for readings. I've done a lot of readings. In the years, I've done a lot of readings. And some people come to me and they're like, this is wrong. Some of them have a whole list. Some of them have seen therapists. They've seen spiritual counselors. They have a list of everything that's wrong. And they can tell me when it happened. They've analyzed themselves backwards and forwards, them and whoever these professionals were. And so I'm like, okay, But why are you not doing anything to heal what's wrong? That's like coming to me and saying, I have diabetes. And I'm like, okay, so what treatments are you doing? What are you doing about it? And they're like, nothing. I know I had it. And I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean I just have it? No, you have to treat it. And you might be able to heal it. It's the same thing with these emotions. Okay? So if you identify that you have something going on inside of yourself that's problematic, work on it. Don't just accept it like, okay, this is wrong, this is a problem, and it's always going to be this way. I don't know what to do about it. No, 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 no. Don't do that. Don't do that. Identify the problem and then work on it. And eventually, if you do the right treatment, you will probably be cured. In many cases, you'll be cured or you'll be a lot better than where you started off at. Okay? So work on whatever it is, especially if it's a negative emotion. Positive emotions can run you into trouble. The other day I was talking about loving someone and how that love, even though I didn't see the person, I didn't talk to the person, and the love didn't even come up that often. It would come up every once in a while, and I would smile and say, okay, and say a prayer and move on. And I realized that kept me in the energy. So once the love welled up and I expressed it on another person or in a different way, or by saying something kind to someone instead of expressing it in that energy, over time, I forgot about the person, you know? So sometimes positive emotions can run us into trouble too. But typically, the emotions that run us into trouble are negative ones: hatred, anger, violence, frustration, revenge. You want to get this person back, Those are the things that really run us into trouble. Indifference runs us into trouble. Somebody was asking me about indifference, and they were saying, is indifference the same as non-attachment? Totally different vibrations. Indifference is not caring at all. Indifference is not caring about yourself. And sometimes it's not caring about how you look. Sometimes you don't care about your job. Sometimes you don't care about your family. You just don't care. Sometimes you don't care about nothing. And you just existing from day to day to day. That is indifference. Non-attachment is caring about something, but surrendering the outcome to God, to Goddess, to the universe, to the angels. You're surrendering it. You're saying, I love this person. I want them to be okay. But there's nothing I can do but pray for them and surrender it to God. So in that case, you really do care, but you know that there's only so much your limited human body can do. Okay? So those are two very different vibrations. So, like I said before, these things can run us into a lot of trouble. So what we have to do is dig into these emotions, look through them. My aunt Ashby told us to study the teachings, practice self-control, and meditation. I really definitely agree with that. And the biggest issue here, like I said before, with feelings and emotions is that feelings and emotions are energy. And as an Aquarius, like I said, when you tuck those emotions away, you put them over to the side, you don't realize you can use that energy. You can use that energy for art. You can use that energy for music. If you have, let's say, for example, you're angry. Let's say somebody did something to you that's really messed up and you're really mad. You can use that energy at the gym. Use that energy to lose 30 or 40 pounds if that's what you're trying to do. Let's say that you're sad about something. You can use that energy, like the guy said, to create some art or to make something beautiful, or make something that speaks to people. But I would not stay in a depression just to create good art. I would just use the energy since it was already present. And after I got the energy out, this is the thing about emotion. After you get the energy out of you, then you need to do something to work on your mood. So I'm depressed. I have all this energy going on. I put it into a wonderful series of pictures, and now I'm done. My pain is on the wall. I have created this beautiful thing out of that pain. Now I don't sit there and dwell in the pain or dwell in the depression. Now it's time to elevate myself. Now it's time to release it, forgive it, and let it go and move on. You see? When you have that, emotion is energy. Just utilize the energy. And you, Aquarius, you're good at this. You're good at detaching and you're good at compartmentalizing your emotions, but you can also become very good at utilizing them to create what you want, to manifest what you want. One of the things you'll notice in The Secret, in the very beginning, they tell you when you want to manifest something to feel it. They're telling you to use your emotional energy. That's what that is. Your emotional energy of love or whatever you feel for that thing. So let's say that you want to create a business and you're trying to manifest it and you feeling yourself at your business. You're feeling yourself doing whatever it is you do. You're feeling yourself in the building with everybody around working and bustling. You're feeling that energy. And that is emotion. That is energy. You're feeling it. And according to the law of attraction, that's one of the ways we draw things to us, by feeling it. It's the energy. That's why when you're angry or when you're sad, it feels crappy because it's crappy energy. It feels yuck. It feels hot. Sometimes it feels hot. Sometimes it just feels heavy. It doesn't feel good though. And that's why. Because it is an energy that is negatively affecting your person, your aura, your energy, your spirit, your body. It's negatively affecting everything. If you have positive emotions about something, if you feel good about something, then typically you don't feel that badness, that heaviness, that sadness. You feel up. You feel light. When things go well, people jump. They kick their heels, because they feel light. It springs them up, So I just wanted to talk to you guys about that and let you know. Some of y'all don't feel good. Some of y'all feel really miserable. And from the conversations that we've been having, some people try to make excuses for it. Some people try to make excuses to hold on to it. Some people feel like they can't be any happier. They feel like that's just their life. And all of this is just excuses not to do the work to change, not to do the work to have a better life. We can all have a great life. Somebody once was talking to me about abundance, and they said, well, how can we all have enough money? And I'm like, they can just print more. Like, if we all made our maximum salary, they would just make something else to use as currency. They'd print more money. They'd use rock. They would just figure out something else. Abundance is in the universe. We can all have. They'll just figure out something else. There was a time when we didn't even use money. Maybe we'll go back to that. Who knows? But they'll figure out something else. So we can all be happy. We can all be abundant. We can all feel good. We just have to believe it. So my question to you is, do you believe that you can feel better? If you don't, then you're never going to feel better. You're never even going to allow yourself to try. But if you believe that it's possible, then you can accomplish it. So take a mental check on yourself, an emotional check on yourself today. See where you are. Write down all of your dominant feelings and any one that you don't want to feel anymore. Put them in a list of priority and attack that first one. In a year, whatever is going on cannot even hurt anymore. Cannot even make you angry anymore. Cannot even be present anymore. You could look up in the year and be like, dang, what was I mad about? One of the things I noticed about me is when I get over something, I can't remember why I was upset. I can never remember. I'm like, so-and-so did so-and-so. And I was mad, but I don't remember what it was. And I have said this 1,000 times. And people be like, you were pissed. You were on fire. What do you mean you don't remember? And I'll be like, I don't remember. It's because it's gone. It's okay. I've released it, I've forgiven it, and it's gone. Okay? So you can be in that same space. And I'm not going to lie to you and say it's fast. Sometimes some things are faster than others, and some things take a while. But whatever the case is, what else would you have been doing but hurting that time anyway? You can either be hurting or you can be healing. You can have agony or you can have peace. It's up to you. Let me know in the comments which one you picked. See you later.